Welcome into another fun-filled episode. Dropkick Basement here, your favorite pro wrestling history podcast. My name is Mike Madden. I am the leader of the Dropkick Basement, so to speak. My first in command, Tom Schultz, gimmickless Tom. How are you today, Tom?
I am. I'm in the season, Mike. I am ready to give thanks.
It is close to Thanksgiving. We are certainly in a thankful mood here in the basement, getting ready to carve turkeys. Tom, last episode you said you were carving turkeys already.
I've been carving turkeys. I got the stuffing is coming out my eyeballs.
Once again, we just would like to reiterate, any sandwich chain that does a gobbler, please send your sponsorships into us. We would love to. We would make this a video podcast if we could just eat gobblers while we were talking.
We will have a gobbler eating competition as an episode, if you're so kind as to sponsor.
And we're talking specifically to the sandwich companies or convenience store sandwich companies that sell a gobbler or something like a gobbler. You know, the Wawas of the world, the Quick Checks of the world. Jersey Mike's does one too. Do they? They have to.
Do
right? They might. I don't. They're a big turkey place.
They love turkey. I don't think that they spread the cranberry though.
They're not cranberry and stuffing on top of it. All right. Well, we'll have to find a few more because I do want to. I want to make this the bidding war of the end of 2024.
Have you seen Danny DeVito slinging stuffing anywhere yet? I haven't.
I would imagine it's coming at some point. I do like the commercial where he now has an apartment just above the bacon station, and he's got his bacon sniffing horn.
Yes.
Anyway, any sandwich place that wants to sponsor us.
I would give anything in the world to see Danny DeVito as a turkey, like that Seinfeld episode.
where Kramer because he was shaving with butter. Anyway, before this devolves into a Seinfeld podcast, we are using this opportunity and the platform that we have on the basement to talk about the things that we are thankful about in the current state of pro wrestling. A few months back, we did the stuff that we want to go away forever, and we never want to talk about. I believe that episode we called "I Don't Want to Hear It Anymore." This one is going to be called "Continue to Give It." We're thankful for all of this stuff. Please, don't inundate us with the things that we're going to be talking about. If you're listening to us, pro wrestling companies, what you've given us so far on these things, and the rise of the popularity of certain things that we're going to discuss. We certainly want more of that, and we want more positive stuff that we can praise on the show instead of stuff that we're going to tear down and want to never hear again. Vince Russo. So, Tom, I'm going to let you start off with the first thing that you are thankful for in the pro wrestling world.
Yeah, I feel like sometimes I could be a bit of a negative Nancy. Oh. So let's shine some positive light. One thing I love about the current state of professional wrestling, Saturday pay-per-views are the fucking best thing that have ever happened.
Yeah. You are not wrong.
Especially when they're overseas and they pop on at 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah.
Holy moly. I could get all my wrestling out of the way by 4 p.m. and I don't have to sit around and have work the next day. And
right, exactly. And be a zombie at work the next day because you had to wait up to see, the main event of WrestleMania, play out. And you know how it's going to play out, but you still have to sit there and watch it. You're absolutely right. The Sunday pay-per-views,
I feel like they should just be a thing of the past.
They should be a thing of the past. But here's the other thing: is that again, I think you're right. When they do the occasional ones on the Sundays and they're in the afternoon, and I think WWE's been doing a few of them that are at 5:30 or 6 o'clock. Like they have those early start times where it's like, all right, well, I almost want, and I think when 2025 starts and AEW starts to do their pay-per-view on Max, they might have a little bit more flexibility with the time that they want to start them as well. So that might be just a trend that they follow suit with and have them a little bit earlier. But yeah, you're right. Like these overseas ones certainly lend themselves to a U.S. audience that is not like, hey, I only start watching pro wrestling at 8 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
Start it at 5:30, started it like at 1, at 4, whatever. Like it's so great. And you're absolutely right. Like, the trend of doing them Saturdays has just freed it up. Now, it's only going to get muddy when WWE starts doing everything as a 2-day pay-per-view.
Yeah. Now, but see, that I can deal with. If it's like, because that means the major 4 or like the big 2 are going to be on Sundays twice a year. Okay. Whatever.
Yeah.
And most of the time, like, I'll probably take off the next day because it's WrestleMania.
Of course, yeah.
And I either want to go or I want to,
recover from it. Yeah, exactly.
But especially with AEW when because they started as Saturday only.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
Because they would only do 4 a year.
Yeah,
so when they were doing those 4 a year, and you're getting them on Saturdays every time, it's like, I don't give a fuck. It's Sunday tomorrow.
Yeah.
But when they started running on Sundays, it's like, you can't have a 6-hour pay-per-view that ends at 1:30 a.m.
Yeah.
And I have work tomorrow,
I know.
dude.
It just wears you down. It's crazy.
You go to work, you're like a zombie because you wanted to watch Will Ospreay at fucking midnight.
Yeah.
It's like, come on.
Yeah. But that's trending in the right direction. And I do think that's a great way to kick off the thank yous. Thank you for having
yes.
Earlier.
Thank you for switching things up.
Saturdays and earlier wrestling shows is always important. What I am thankful for, just speaking on that, kind of tying into my first one here, I'm thankful that we're getting closer to Royal Rumble season.
Okay.
It is it's the best pay-per-view on their calendar. I really hope that one never goes to 2 nights because I think it's going to be hard stretching, even though you could say like, oh, there's a Royal Rumble on a Saturday and a Royal Rumble on a Sunday.
Yeah, no, you're gonna check out of the women's one.
Exactly.
If we're gonna be honest.
Or if the women's one really has a more intriguing build, who cares about the men's one if you kind of have an idea? So keep those on one day, please, WWE.
That's a one day.
Please
That's
be smart.
Day, please.
But I'm very thankful that we're almost in Royal Rumble season. But I'm also going to dovetail that, and I'm thankful that AEW has developed their own quasi, although it's not set on a particular pay-per-view per se. I like that they have their quasi, like Royal Rumble adjacent match now, the Casino Gauntlet match.
I do love that.
So the Casino Gauntlet match, for the uninitiated, if you're one of the unwashed masses that listens to this program and you've never seen a Casino Gauntlet match, it starts with 2 men at an arbitrary interval. So it's not like, oh, you're counting down 2 minutes. They'll flash a clock on there, but another man enters the fray, and subsequently until there's a pinfall. So you're still working on the premises of it as it's a standard match. It's just, here's a gauntlet of guys that are getting added, every so often until they deem it's time to take it home. So it is certainly something that it's been a hit on TV. The couple times they've done them on television, they've done them with the tag teams, which is great because that actually lends it to, you can get some crazy spots in, and you can, the ring fills up almost like a battle royal, but you remember that they're still going for pins or submissions. So it certainly has. It's been an exciting entry into the types of matches that they put on, and it's funny enough. It's like it's a critical darling right away too, and I know we really don't want to lean on the critics all that much, but Alvarez, Meltzer, Sean Ross Sapp, all these people, Wade Keller, like all these people are praising it and saying like this is a great concept, and whether it's Tony Khan or a room full of people who thought about this idea, it has certainly, gotten a lot of people's attention. So, I think in 2025 they should be smart about it, and they should say we're only going to do this at All In, or we're going to save this for 2 times a year.
Yeah.
Limit it because it's become special and it's become unique, but certainly promote it.
Yeah, they've definitely done a few this year, which kind of that's where, like, if you're going to do it all the time, you may dilute.
They'll dilute it, yeah.
But the surprise factor is the big key.
Yeah,
don't know who's coming, and like for me, when Nigel's music hit, I lost my mind.
Yeah. Yeah,
I reverted back to a teenager at a Ring of Honor show, and I was like, "Holy fucking shit, it's happened!"
Yeah, no,
it's the surprise factor, fact that you never know when it's going to end. It's like a spur of the moment kind of thing. I think that the conditioning of the wrestling fan through the Royal Rumble over the years, with there's always going to be a surprise.
Yep.
Has lent itself to the Casino Gauntlet. There's got to be someone. There's got to be right.
Somebody's got to debut, or somebody's got to like come back from injury, or somebody you didn't expect. Again, like a singles guy or a tag team guy that's going to be a singles guy that like you're really getting behind.
Yeah,
absolutely. So yes, I am thankful for A, the Royal Rumble, and B, the casino as a fan of surprises. What else are you thankful for on your side?
I'll say so. This is a more recent development in the wrestling space, but it's kind of become popular. I mean, they kind of keyed in on it early on, and now it's becoming like an epidemic for any sort of content, and that's having a streaming platform for wrestling. Whether it's the network, whether we're on Peacock, whether it's High Spots having their network, Triller TV having the indie stuff that they have.
Yeah.
The Ring of Honor catalog now having its own place. And now what we're all anticipating in the new year of the AEW catalog moving to Max.
Right.
The accessibility of wrestling is so... This was something that 30 years ago, you would have to hope that you could find someone in a chat room that would have something on a tape that you wanted to see, and you had something they wanted to see, so you could exchange it.
Yeah.
And it's now literally for $10 a month, any wrestling you want is at your fingertips.
Yeah.
And a lot of it, you can go on YouTube and get it for free.
That's true. Yeah.
Or go on Dailymotion and get it for free. Like, all of this stuff is so the accessibility of like when you, so just a few weeks ago, we were talking about your rebooking of the JCP UWF merger.
Yeah.
That made me want to go back and at some point I can find it somewhere. I can go back and find it on the internet somewhere.
Oh, of course, yeah. And that's, and again, I think that's a lot of that is a testament to pro wrestling fans that want to share different things. The indies aren't so hot right now. They're a little cold. There's less options out there, but and I think that's one thing that like could be improved. And you mentioned Triller. I think there should be a few more like free services. I mean, I really don't understand how and I think YouTube does a decent job like partnering up with these indies are smart enough to say like we're going to put our content up on YouTube for free.
Yeah.
Whether it's day of the show or we can't do it live, but I think just the idea of fans will seek it out if you put it on and you promote it well enough that this is the home of so-and-so.
Well, there is IWTV, which for the indies is fucking awesome.
Yeah.
And it's $10 a month,
right.
which is like, for in the grand scheme of things, for the amount of if you wanted to watch a new show every day for a year, you could easily do that.
Of course.
With for $10 a month.
Yeah, or
so
if you're
$120 a year.
If you're into a promotion that's not in your area, that you're I know that they're good. I just want to be able to follow all their shows or catch up on their shows. Then that IWTV is definitely there.
I was a big fan of West Coast Pro, and all of their shows stream live too, which is awesome. Yeah. So like you can watch them as they're happening. You don't even have to wait till the next day.
Yeah,
they're streaming live, and you can watch them on iPay-per-view.
Yeah, those are good. Those are good partnerships to have. My only fear is with the biggest company in the world, and you're starting to hear the rumblings now, like what the carryover is going to be to Netflix. How long they're going to have the stuff on Peacock, as again they haven't really been doing a great job with like.
No, it's been the carryover from the network to Peacock has been, I would say, atrocious.
Yeah.
But yeah, I have the same fear of the carryover from Peacock to Netflix. I think going to be far less.
I think they will probably they'll cherry pick stuff that they want to bring over or create documentaries or collections.
And
of
I'm kind
matches.
of hoping that with that mentality that there'd be more open to possibly selling off,
of course,
libraries like WCW, ECW, because I think in a heartbeat Tony would buy those.
Yeah, because he's
for the right price.
The ECW library, he
would put like fan cam shows on.
He might go overboard with that, and then Max would be like, "We like the shows that you produce. Like, we don't need the arc, and we're okay with like the Ring of Honor stuff if we want to put it on there. But like, you're giving me like an ECW show from Jim Thorpe '97. Like, all right, whatever, dude." But no, but even to the extent like let's say it doesn't all go over to Netflix. I think WWE can be smart about it, and they can say,
"Put it on their website."
Let's go. They're building that sort of vault YouTube page. They put. I don't know if you noticed this, but in the last couple of weeks, they did put up Halloween Havoc 1998.
Yes, I saw that. And
what a misguided thing! And they put up the whole DDP Goldberg match.
they put it with when it cuts out and all that stuff. It was just hilarious.
But I think that's the type of thing where they can be very smart about that. They could build that channel as a multi-tier. You don't have to charge people money for it, but you can build that as a multi-tier where you can say like, all right, well, we have 6 years of Jim Crockett Promotions. Put that up tomorrow, and there'll be thousands of people that'll watch it from beginning to end. Find some stuff, and that's that's also the type of thing where, because you're not broadcasting and you're not charging people, they might be able to play a little bit more fast and loose with the copyrights that they had on some of the music. I think that benefits ECW a lot better than anything else, because then you can go back to the original music that ECW was using in those shows, and you really hit the nostalgia. You edited them all out to make these like phony, like bootleg, fucking Timo versions of Enter Sandman, but you can go back and put Enter Sandman on. Hey, maybe you get a copyright strike because it's on YouTube, but you can negotiate the fuck out of that and make it a simple thing. Why not?
But also, if you put it on YouTube, you're putting it on there for free. WWE has one of the highest subscription YouTube channels on the planet, so you're gonna monetize this you're gonna monetize it one way or another.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
And they have so much that they're not sharing with everybody.
Yeah.
That's the fun. That's the. Okay, nope. We're gonna stay thankful.
It's thankful. We're thankful about.
We're gonna stay thankful. Yes,
so
we're gonna stay thankful for the fact that Hunter, are you hearing me?
He's a big fan, by the way.
Triple H is gonna put everything on YouTube.
I also to hit my next point, and then I'll give you another Mount Rushmore, not Mount Rushmore, another thankful thing.
Yeah, we'll do both.
I think the Max deal for AEW is going to be excellent.
Awesome.
I think that media rights deal that they made is perfect for how they can expand, and it gives them more money to play with, and the ability to hopefully upgrade their production. Potentially, go to towns that they hadn't before, that they think they can draw an audience in, and take more risks when it comes to their TV show. Bring in, hey, you want to bring in different production guys, and you want to, put them on salary and do all that stuff. So I think the media deal, in hand in hand with what you mentioned about streaming, makes pro wrestling a lot stronger. So also staying on the so my next thing that I'm thankful for, and again, it's kind of in the same realm of streaming, Netflix, that Netflix series, not the one about Vince McMahon, but the Queen of Villains on Netflix.
Oh, yeah.
That was about
I'm
Dump
Matsumoto.
Right, really, I mean, again, you have to be a dialed-in fan to understand why they would single her out. Why is it Dump Matsumoto? Then you do the research, and there's great videos online from guys like Kim Justice and a few others on YouTube that really break down Joshi wrestling in the 80s and what a cultural phenomenon it was in Japan, and to educate an audience and to actually then say, we're going to take a risk and we're going to put a Japanese language subtitled version of this on Netflix, and they actually did some decent numbers with it, and they got people interested. There's so much to play with when it comes to the history of pro wrestling and the history of specific characters in pro wrestling. I'm not going to spoil the whole Dump Matsumoto thing, but
no, of course not.
But she is, for her time, is one of the most important female Japanese wrestlers of the 80s and beyond. She's a very unique story. She's a very unique character. If you haven't started watching it, take time, go watch it.
Definitely recommend it.
Is it 5-6 episodes?
I think it's 5. I don't remember if it's 5 or 6.
It might be 6.
I watched 2 or 3.
You know what? I think it is 5. And they're all an hour long, and they kind of take you through. And there's more characters. It's not just Dump. You get a variety of names that you know, but you don't really . So it's what's great about it is so I watched all 5 episodes, and I love the series, and even some of the hokey parts, I was like, no, I get this, I understand what they're going for in here. But when you hear the names and you're like, oh, I kind of know who she is, I kind of know who they are, and you go back and you start to do the research and you start to look the matches up on YouTube or Daily Motion, wherever it is, and you kind of get the notion of, holy shit, this was it's not an over-exaggeration when they put it in the Netflix series, how crazy the crowds were and how intense some of the action was. And a lot of the focus is about the girls, developing as pro wrestlers and dealing with their personal lives and stuff like that. I want more series. I want Netflix to be, and other streaming companies to be smart about this. I think the Iron Claw at the end of 2023 and into 2024 really led the way for it, and I think they can see that if you present an important history of a family, of a wrestler, of a company, whatever it is, and you present that in that sort of that drama series setting, you don't cheat the fans out that want to know about it and want to learn about it. It's not like you're putting him in a comedy and it's like, huck, look, I'm going to drop an elbow. And, how corny pro wrestling's been presented in mainstream entertainment in the past. I think we're certainly turning, and a lot of this probably has to do with the fact that they know that their audience of pro wrestling fans, there is a good segment of them that will follow this and will give you the ratings that you want for it. So I want there to be more series like that. Specifically, let's shine a light on some of these international stars and these lesser known promotions that, even somebody like myself that tends to know a lot about like 80s pro wrestling, I can certainly like see, there's value in following this, watching this, and then getting myself on the internet to read more about it and to check out clips. So shout out to Netflix for producing that one.
Yeah, that from what I saw of it, it's a great series.
Yeah,
and I like that they took that chance, even though they won't fucking put out a season 3 of Mindhunter.
Well, listen,
but
take that up with Netflix.
Positive, thankful. You know what? And coming off of what you were saying, I am thankful for the resurgence of the popularity of wrestling.
Okay, you're right.
It's fucking cool to be a wrestling fan again.
Yeah.
Like, we went through hell for the past 20 years. After the Attitude Era ended.
Yeah.
People did not look kindly on pro wrestling. And so much to say that, I mean, like, as a grown man who still enjoys it.
Yeah.
As a kid, you could, it's fake. No, it's not. Whatever.
Right. There's your
as a grown
classic
man,
argument.
You know it's fake. To try and defend some of the stuff that we're getting in the mid 2000s, was very hard.
Right.
And because the product is so strong, it's finally cool, and it's becoming mainstream again. Like,
in a lot of ways, you're right. Yeah.
The Rock, who is the biggest movie star in the world, has come back to wrestling.
Of course.
John Cena is making his way in Hollywood.
Yeah.
I think it's just a matter of time before Roman Reigns does the same thing.
Yeah. Batista's
doing his thing.
He's good. Yeah.
And, I mean, even to a very lesser extent, Samoa Joe is in video games. He's on that Twisted Metal series. I
think there's another one that he's,
Jericho acts in a bunch of stuff. He's in that new horror movie, Terrifier, that just came out. Like,
and MJF's going to be in the Happy Gilmore movie.
MJF's going to be in Happy Gilmore.
Yeah.
And outside of just the current product and the people that are infiltrating the Hollywood scene, like you were saying with Queen of Villains, Iron Claw, you have the show Heels.
Yeah.
Whether for better or worse, you have the McMahon documentary that's doing crazy numbers on Netflix.
Yeah.
I mean, Peacock did the documentary, again, for better or worse, about Teddy Hart.
About Teddy,
There's
and they also promoted the Cody documentary and the Kurt Angle documentaries very well.
Yep, and we have Dark Side of the Ring. There's pro wrestling is getting coverage on ESPN as if it's a legitimate sport. Nowadays, you know what I mean? So it's like resurgence of how hot wrestling is right now. I'm just thankful that, like, I could wear my fucking Bret Hart shit out and everyone's gonna be like, sick shirt, dude.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, right. No, that's and
poser.
I think there's I will trace that back to that night in June of 2011 when Punk sat on the stage and he delivered the pipe bomb. That's where there was a swing, because it for one reason or another it went viral.
Yeah.
And I think it went viral at a time when, maybe because there was such a kind of a diminished interest in wrestling through the mid 2000s and into the early 2010s. So there were more people that came back to it at that point. And then they realized, and there was a lot of people that were getting into podcasts. So you had you had Cabana's podcast, but you also had a couple of other, key people in pro wrestling that were covering that well. They were having people on to talk about it. So there was kind of an underground viral thing, but it was also, it was a topic, on Sports Illustrated's website or, Deadspin or wherever like these media outlets were picking it up. So that was really where the rumblings of it began. And it took a while for it to because it was sort of like, well, is this for are they really back? Are they really doing good stuff? And
yeah. And I think that's where it faltered was everyone saw that and then it was like, okay, I'll watch Raw next week.
And
they watched Raw next week and it was horrible.
The parade of dummies were still out there doing their thing.
And so then it's like, oh, okay, this was just like a cool moment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We're not back. It's just this guy's cool though.
But I also think
so maybe I have
when you're talking about like guys that have I think that certainly gave Punk a profile outside of pro wrestling.
Oh, for sure.
Where people were like, well, we want to work with him and we want to do stuff with him and we want to bring him in to do stuff. And but I also think it elevated Cena. And I don't think Cena was – maybe he'd done one or two Hollywood things before then and they were low level. Then all of a sudden, he did the Marine.
Oh, yeah.
He did the Marine.
He did
movies.
like the Marine, yeah.
Right. Well, that's great for like if you want to be Hulk Hogan level, straight to video bullshit. But after that, all of a sudden, then it became like, well, he's getting more interest to do media stuff. They want to have your champs on the Today Show, or they want to have, a pro wrestling person as a judge on this reality show or whatever it is.
Yeah.
So then. Again, as it turns and it becomes a little bit more cool to loop them in, you get to like 2015, into the later part of the 2010s in that decade, where it's like, well, now, they're kind of big stars because a generation was starting to like come back to pro wrestling and starting to watch. So you see the New Day on like the Nickelodeon Kids' Choice Awards, and like they're doing cool stuff away from pro wrestling. So I think like all of that right now it's finally like you can celebrate it now, right?
It's culminating,
and you can say to yourself, well, I'm a fan, and I'm not hiding in the shadows anymore, or I'm not off in my corner just talking talking to my little group of people. Like you're able to say like, all right, well, turn the television on in a public place to it, like everybody's going to get into this and watch it. So those are the sort of things now that you kind of like you get that sigh of relief. As you said, you can wear a T-shirt out and somebody's going to say, "Oh, that's a dope shirt," or that's a cool hat or whatever. Or did you see that show last night? Or hey, did you see this guy on like? He's a good actor and like all this sort of stuff. So the accolades come back around, and we don't want to say a boom period. Although that AEW rights deal certainly lends itself, they're going to have a lot better exposure in the next, decade of working. So there's a chance that you could see like a real upswing and resurgence. On that side of things, I'll go back to my next one, and it's Zack Sabre Jr. just won the IWGP World Heavyweight title.
Yep.
I'm so excited for this snotty asshole who can tie you up in knots. I want him to have a long run, and I want them basically, because New Japan it's all fun and games to be the forbidden door and to let your guys like work anywhere and everywhere they can. But if you don't have a strong champion, nobody puts their eyes on your product. And since the forbidden door has been open, and contracts have expired and people have left there that have gotten, the maximum exposure from working with WWE or TNA or MLW or whoever it may be, New Japan's gotten weaker.
Yeah.
They've got a chance to have their own, if they do it right and keep Zack strong for, I say, a year, if not longer, and let him slay the dragons that are at the, like, that sort of like resting level, or some of the legend guys that are still hanging around, let him knock those out. If you develop a strong babyface challenger to Zack Sabre Jr., and hopefully it's a guy that they have like a Ren Narita or even like Gabe Kidd. If you play it right in Japan, you can have Zack as a strong champion for a long time, and you can finally get the interest where if they do have a Forbidden Door, you're kind of hoping that maybe the New Japan guys can win a couple of these matches and show how strong they are and how strong they work, because it's all well and it's all fun when guys come over and you have these sort of dream matches, but if they're taking L's when they're coming over to the U.S. and they can only get their wins back on Japanese soil, you're playing 50-50 booking, and that doesn't.
It's kind of all for naught.
And at a certain point, New Japan says, "Well, fuck this. We're not getting involved with this anymore because it's too difficult. Because you don't let our guys get over stateside." Strong heel champ, and Zack Sabre Jr. is it's a perfect time. He's paid his dues. He's been in the business for 15, 20 years already. And he's the best technical wrestler on the planet. He's one of the best promos in all of pro wrestling. And he's a snotty asshole in a perfect way. That if the right challenger comes along, and if you get him even stronger than he is right now, you have yourself like they could have a good 2025, and I'm hoping that they have a good 2025 with him. I'm so happy that he won that title. And it wasn't and they didn't wait until Wrestle Kingdom to put it on him and have his big moment. He can walk into the goddamn Tokyo Dome and he can celebrate as the champ, and hopefully get a big win there too. Yeah.
Hopefully there's a resurgence in New Japan.
I mean, they really took it on the chin by losing Ospreay, by losing Okada in the last year. Yeah. Minoru Suzuki is too old. Ishii's too old. Tana's going to retire in 2026. So they need guys to step up there. And if Zack is the leader of that right now, more power to him. Give him the ball, let him run a long time with it, and let him get himself well established. And I look for big things from New Japan going forward.
Yep. I'm hoping that this brings them back to the New Japan of old.
Yeah. Or at least get people buzzing about it.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, cut out the Bullet Club shit and let's do something new and have something go on.
Yeah.
I have two more. One is like a very small, just like I'm just very happy that I'm able to find bootleg wrestling T-shirts on the internet.
Okay. All right. Good. That's very Tom specific.
That is very specific to me. But anyone out there, there's a ton of Instagram accounts that you can find like your favorite fucking T-shirts from the Attitude Era, from the 80s.
Yeah.
And they make bootleg versions of them for $25-$30, and you don't have to pay that asshole wrestling T-shirts for sale, $900 for a Cactus Jack T-shirt.
Right.
But the other one that has more, meat on the bone and isn't just very specific to me is I'm very thankful for the mainstream attention that deathmatch wrestling has gotten in the last few years.
Okay.
I kind of think that after ECW, it was kind of buried, and everything that all even, I mean, there was a ton of indie promotions that were doing crazy shit, deathmatch wrestling, tournaments, stuff. But it was all like viewed as like backyard wrestling and stuff.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. And friend of mine, but I think that the initial kind of like mainstream view of deathmatch wrestling was from GCW when Joey got thrown off the roof by Zandig.
Of course, yeah. That was a spark.
The next day, it was all over ESPN. They actually contacted me and like put my Instagram account on ESPN because
you had the video.
I had the video of it.
Yeah.
But it started with that. But now that Tony has AEW and has guys who are not only like they made their bread and butter like Mox and Darby and guys like that, and then giving guys like Nick Gage a platform to be on national television and do light tubes and panes of glass, and deathmatch wrestling is like it's like a very small niche in the wrestling community. There's most people think it's hack and slash, fucking
blood and guts
bullshit,
but
there's an art to it, and if it's done now, I will admit the majority of it is a bunch of fat assholes who can't do an arm drag, so they'll like take a bundle of light tubes
making
over their head,
yeah,
and that gets people to cheer because it's so ridiculous.
Yeah,
but
it's a cheap pop, but
when it's done properly and on the main platforms that it's been given, especially in AEW, it's been done properly. Fucking Sting took a pane of glass, dude.
Yeah. Well, and I think that's another thing that's part of that is the Hangman Swerve feud had elements in that. Like 3 of their matches had those extreme hardcore spots in them
and it's controversial.
Where it's cinder blocks. It's you've got the syringes. You've got and again, like the guys that can get away with doing it are doing it in the right spots. They're not saying like, hey, it's we have a hardcore title now, and like every week there's another dumb stipulation where you can bring anything you want, and they're running the garbage cans down, and they're throwing bowling balls at each other, and look, yuck, ha ha. But I think brutality that's the art form of it. So the brutality and the storytelling have to be there. There's got to be a reason why somebody's like to a point where they're like, I'm going to light this casket on fire. And you're going to burn in this casket, or I'm going to, throw you onto a cinder block, or I'm going to, choke you with the steps that lead up to the ring or whatever it is. Like, if done in moderation for the main shows, and I even to its fault, not to its fault, but to its betterment, the Punk McIntyre match was way more brutal than it had any right to be, and it was excellent. Yeah, that got a lot of high praise for as physical as it was. And again, you're not talking about 2 22-year-old guys that are going out there and this is how they make their name in wrestling. These are 2 established superstars that are going all out, that don't have to do that, but do that because the story that they were telling lends itself to the brutality, the physicality, and the bloodshed that you need to in order to say, are you not entertained? Have we not hit the peak of this? When it shrinks itself down to the indies, though, like that's where I kind of fear is that if somebody saw that just happening at a GCW or on some of the lesser shows, they would probably say, well, that's all about that's what they do only. They're just kind of an ECW parody company.
Yeah.
So if they're doing it under the right context themselves, or they're doing it under the context of, hey, this is our annual tournament or our annual event that we know we're going to have this, this major, war game style match or multi-man style match that we put our own stamp on, then it definitely could be it could be appreciated in the same breath that the mainstream companies do when they do pull out all the stops and do it.
I do also think that it just gets a bad name in general because of the toll that it takes on you.
Of course.
Now, like everyone will be like, "Oh, what'd you do that for? A hot dog and a handshake?"
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, okay, yeah, but this could be the thing that gets you noticed and takes you to that next level.
Right.
And you doing the same indie match that every other guy is doing is not going to get you there.
Of course, yeah.
When used sparingly and when used properly, I also think it's a great it's a great storytelling device when it's done like perfectly. Mm-hmm. When you build it to the crescendo of a story.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But even I think there's an art to it. Even when it's done, just on like a regular show. If you go to an indie show and they're like, oh, well, this is going to be a death match, and if it's done properly, mm-hmm. There's a beauty to it that in the gore and the violence, because it's like these guys are willing. It tells a story in and of itself. Mm-hmm. These guys are willing to go to these extremes in order to get a victory.
Yeah.
And I there's just something that I appreciate about it, and I know it's not for everybody. Listen, I know it's not for everybody because I've seen some fucked up shit happen to people.
Of course, yeah. Right. There's a dangerous element that a lot of
Yeah, that the unnecessary danger. If it was a more controlled environment where especially with like the glass and stuff, it does there's an unpredictability to it.
It freaks you out.
Where people like that, like you saw on the Dark Side of the Ring when Nick Gage legitimately died.
Yeah.
I was at that show and we sat on a farm for 4 hours while he got medevaced out of that show. It's like that's some scary shit because you're like, holy fuck, is that guy dead?
Yeah,
like, did I just witness someone
paid to see someone die? Like, accidentally die? Holy shit. Am I in trouble? Am I going to get... Do I have to give a statement?
But, yeah.
I clapped, but, I didn't clap on purpose.
Yeah, I thought it was a blood capsule. But, no, I just... there's something about it that it's... To me, there's just, like... I can't put my finger on exactly what it is, but it's just I think what if I'm going to be honest, I think what it is I love pro wrestling, mm-hmm. and you have to really love pro wrestling to do that to yourself.
Of course. Yeah.
And so I appreciate, regardless of whether it's good, bad, whatever. I appreciate the willingness of those people to do that for my entertainment.
The maximum effort. Yeah.
Yeah. You're willing to go above and beyond what you need to do in order to provide entertainment to somebody.
Yeah. No, that's an honest take, and that's again, as I mentioned, if it's brought into your mainstream shows and it's done the right way, more people will say like, wow, that was crazy. I've never seen anything like that. And then you can stand there as a fan of it and say, well, buckle up.
I saw a guy lose his nipple once.
You think you really like this? Oh, here's the Weed Whacker from CZW. Here's a couple Tournament of Death tapes. Check those out. So I'll finish on 2, that I have still on my list. One is a very specific. RJ City is fucking funny, and I love that he's got like shit to do. Like that Hey EW show is it's so uniquely him, and he looks like he's having a ball doing that. Whether the person that he's interviewing is totally on board some of the times or not, he has a ball doing it. He helped develop the story with Tony Storm and Mariah May this year, which was one of their best. It's up there with Hangman and Swerve is one of their best, like long played out feuds. And I don't think it's over by any stretch of the imagination. And he does a great job with like the media scrums, keeps things light, but also like keeps things moving along. And does great with the pre-shows. Has great chemistry with Renee. So I want him to do more, be more prominent, and have a fucking fun ass time out there. The final thing that I will mention, it is very specific to old school wrestling and shit that I like. I don't know if you've caught this, but there is a Substack out there. It's wrestlingplaylists.substack.com.
What the hell is Substack?
It's sort of like a hybrid of a blog where you've got some written content plus for a fee you can subscribe to and get their playlists of specific years or like a month of like the best matches from that particular year in history.
Oh wow.
And they've got like these cool exclusive like videos that are only on that Substack page for even the free subscribers can get them. And they're like every month they release a different music video that gives you like clips of the matches that they have on there that are featured. Right now they're going through. They've started into 1985, so they're doing write-ups, and they do these little blurb write-ups to kind of introduce like that particular month that they're doing each week, and they're just adding so much like context to. And some of these aren't like 5-star matches, but it's like, hey, this guy's debuting in Mid-South, right around this time. Or like Ric Flair as the traveling champion was in Texas, and then he was in Crockett. And it gives you a little bit of like context to how wrestling was operating in 85. And not just the stuff that you would see on regular television, but like some of these other, like there's a lot of good write-ups on the All Japan women's content that's going on at the time.
Oh, okay.
Mexico. So it's really sort of this like kind of really inside baseball vibe for pro wrestling fans who really want to learn a lot more. I guess the guy's name is, I think his name is Charlie. PWOLOSS, I think is his Twitter. I'll find it and I'll put it in the notes for this particular. But we certainly want to give those guys a shout out. In addition to, as you were saying, the all these independent bootleg T-shirt guys that are advertising on Instagram. We certainly want to give shout outs to people that are celebrating the history of wrestling, just like we do on this goddamn podcast. Shout out Stash Pages and Matt Bovin. So that's definitely, that kind of goes hand in hand with the stuff we're thankful for. We're thankful for. Yes. You can be thankful for WWE having like good shows, or AEW having like consistent pay-per-views where they knock it out of the park and you're exposing yourself to like new stars every week. But you kind of also have to give it up to the people who were like, I'm still in the trenches and I'm still figuring out ways to gravitate people in, and whether they're buying, subscribing, or just checking out like something that's an archive of like online stuff from the past. Like, that's our ecosystem. Dropkick Basement, we're a history podcast. Yes. We rebook these shows because we kind of say to ourselves, hey, there's an opportunity for us to, flex our fandom and our our fan brains and our fan muscle to that nth degree, and to just kind of say like, hey, it could have been better if you did it this way. we certainly don't want to feel like we're the only ones doing it. There's a ton of other great, podcasts and interviewers and journalists that are covering the history of pro wrestling. But I like to think that we're contributing in our own way, and we certainly want to give support to our brothers and sisters that are out there that are kind of doing the same thing to preserve the history of the sport. With that being said, I think our thankfuls are expired.
Yeah.
Anything else to add as a extra caveat to this thankful episode?
No, Mike. I'm thankful that I'm able to chat with you about wrestling on a bi-weekly basis.
What a kind thing to say. Yes, it is. It is always a pleasure sitting across from you, and occasionally Matt when he shows up at work, or work with us, I should say, and any of the other special guests that we've had on in the past or the future. We're growing this thing one brick by brick, one step at a time. So. We want to make sure that you guys check us out. Always, drop us a like on the content that we put, the podcast. Subscribe, follow us on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it, Dropkick Basement. Check us out there. Leave us comments. If you got suggestions about the show, for sure, hit us up there. Slide into the DMs if you have an idea about something that we should be checking out. Past, present, future of pro wrestling. Our ideas only take us so far, so we certainly appreciate when the fans of the podcast or the listeners of the podcast get involved. So that'll be it for the Thanksgiving episode. Gobblers, we're serious about the sandwich thing too.
Yes.
Independent sandwich companies or corporation sandwich companies, we would love to sponsor and make this. A pro wrestling and sandwich podcast.
If we have to, we will start the Dropkick Basement sandwich store.
Okay, you're saying we should make our own sandwiches?
Yes. If we're not going to get a sponsor, I know how to make a turkey.
All right.
I know how to make some stuffing.
I like that. All right. So, okay, good. All right.
I think we have a member of this team that. Is in the food business. So
that's true. That's the Dropkick Gobbler coming to you sometime early 2025. So
yep.
With that being said, we hope you guys have a great night. Be thankful for pro wrestling, and we'll see you at the matches.